Good morning all, and welcome to this lecture of electronics, in which we were supposed to study digital electronics, and we were working on logic families, right? So we have almost completed the TTL NAND gate and TTL NOR gate. Today we are going to see about the CMOS NAND gate and CMOS NOR gate. So let us start with that. Let me introduce myself. Myself, Dr. N.D. Meshram, Head and Associate Professor, Department of Electronics, Sri Mathura Das Mohta College of Science, and I guess my screen is visible to you. Is it visible? Okay, so today we are going to study the CMOS NAND and NOR gate, CMOS NAND and CMOS NOR gate. Now, what actually this CMOS means? CMOS means the complementary MOSFET, right? So we are using the MOSFET, but now we are going to use both P channel and N channel for this. Now, what are the advantages over this that we will try to just repeat it for you. So yeah, I guess uh, basic characteristics of this are there. So basic characteristics of a logic families are the main characteristics, which include speed. We have studied this: fan in, fan out, then noise immunity, power dissipation. These are some of the characteristics which we require for a good IC as far as digital ICs are concerned. So it should have a good speed. Fan in should be good. Fan out maximum digital ICs should be connected to it. It should not be. It should be prone to say the noise immunity, and it should have a less power dissipation. So these are some of the factors which are very essential to select a logic family. Then these characteristics somehow have speed. I have told you speed of logic circuit is determined by the time between the application of input and the change in the output of the circuit. Fan in is it determines the number of inputs the logic gate can handle, and fan out it determines the number of circuits that a gate can drive. Right, so it is on the output side, and fan in is the on the input side. We have studied this. Then the noise immunity, maximum noise that a circuit can withstand without affecting the output. Right. So these are some of the basic characteristics which are very essential for the logic families as far as gates are concerned. Then the power, yeah, power is one of the important factors. When a circuit switches from one state to the other, the power dissipates, and that power is should be very less as far as electronics is concerned. So we are concerned with all the factors which are very important as for the circuit. These are some types of logic families that we have there. TTL, transistor logic based on bipolar transistor, which we have already completed. Then we are having CMOS, that is complementary metal oxide semiconductor logic based on a metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. Those are called as MOSFETs, right? Which are based on this MOSFET. CMOS actually are complementary. So we are using both P type and N type. Therefore, it is called as the complementary of it, right? So on that, we are using this CMOS. And then we are having ECL, that is emitter coupled logic based on bipolar transistors, right? So we can have emitter coupled also. So this is another group of families. Okay, we have almost completed TTL gate and all. So general characteristics of the basic logic families: CMOS consumes very little power, has excellent noise immunity, and is used with a wide range of voltages. So that's why we are studying this CMOS. So instead of TTL, we can use CMOS technology or CMOS gates, right? Because of these reasons. Now TTL can drive more current and uses more power than CMOS. So CMOS is far better than, say, the TTL, right? So CMOS consumes very little power, has excellent noise immunity, but its speed is very low, right? As far as speed is concerned. Then the TTL can drive more current and uses more power than CMOS. ECL is fast, so with poor noise immunity and high power consumption. These are the advantages of all the three characteristics of basic logic family. Now, what is complementary metal oxide semiconductor? I have already taught you what is a CMOS, right? What is a MOS, right? Metal oxide silicon. So most widely used family for large scale devices, then combines high speed with low power consumption. So these two factors are correlated with each other. If you increase the speed, automatically the power dissipation increases. Or if you decrease the power dissipation, then automatically the speed decreases. So both are correlated to each other. So this factor is very much taken care of in this complementary metal oxide semiconductor devices or logic gates. Combines high speed with low power consumption, usually operates from a single supply of say from 5 to 15 volts, right? So it can operate around that, and excellent noise immunity of about 30% of supply voltage. So whatever noise which are being developed by the power supplies are being reduced by this CMOS technology. This can be connected to a large number of gates. That means, yeah, fan out is very good. About 50 you can connect it. Many forms, some with propagation delay time down to 1 nanosecond, right? So the propagation, that is the speed, is also very high. So 1 nanosecond is nothing. 1 nanosecond means 1 into 10 to the power minus ninth of a second. So just imagine this much of speed can be achieved by using this complementary or CMOS digital ICs. Then the power consumption depends on the speed. I told you that this power consumption basically depends on uh, the the speed. So if you increase the speed, automatically power consumption increases. So perhaps it might be around 1 milliwatt. So this is the power consumption that is essential for CMOS. So with respect to TTL, the CMOS are very much say advantageous rather than using a TTL. So these are some of the reasons which are very necessary to be understood by a person who expects to use these days, right? So, but in our lab we are using TTL logic, TTL family gates, right? So we are working on that because we don't require that much of speed, and we are in the, say, we are only in the condition to study the characteristics of that particular gate, and therefore we does not require any such these power consumption and all characteristics. So we use TTL. Okay, so transistor logic, we have seen These are actually based on bipolar transistors, and one of the most widely used families for small and medium scale devices, rarely used in VLSI. So remember, wherever there are very less number of digital ICs, digital gates, which are to be employed in the circuits, then these TTL gates are being used. Otherwise, just in VLSI, that is very large scale integrated circuits, means above the range of say around 1 lakh gates in a particular chip. So in that case, we does not use this transistor logic. Typically operated from 5 volt supply, yeah. Typical noise immunity is around 1 to 1.6 volt. Then many forms, some optimized for speed, power, etc. High speed versions comparable to CMOS, that is approximately equal to 1.5 nanosecond. So it's having a very high speed comparatively with respect to say the CMOS. Yeah, it does again have a low power versions down to 1 millivolts per sorry 1 milliwatt per gate. So it's a the power consumption is very low. So these are the characteristics for transistor. Now as emitter coupled logic. So emitter coupled logic has based on bipolar transistors, but removes problems of storage time by preventing the transistors from saturating. So these are the conditions where we are operating the bipolar transistors, right? So we have seen the characteristics on in which we are having active region, we are having saturation region, we are having a cutoff region. Right? So when we see the graph of VCA versus IC, I've told you when we have studied the transistors, right? So common emitter amplifier. Then in that case, we are having three regions: the saturation above that, the cutoff below which we can't work, and the active region in which the transistor is supposed to work very, very nicely, right? So that is the case. So based on bipolar transistor, but removes the problem of storage time by preventing the transistors from saturating. Very fast operation, propagation delays of 1 nanosecond or less. So we are having a very high speed. Then high power consumption, perhaps 60 milliwatt per gate. So the power consumption is very important over here because it is consuming 60 milliwatt per gate, and in CMOS it's around 1 milliwatt per gate, and in TTL we are using 1.5, right? Noise immunity is around zero point 0.2 to 0.25 volt, used in some high speed specialist applications, but now largely replaced by high speed CMOS, right? So earlier it was used over there. Earlier emitter coupled logic was used. Now we are having high speed CMOS over. So that they are being completely say see, they are completely exhausted now. They are being rarely used as far as CMOS is concerned. Okay, so let us go through that. The comparison of the basic family logic. So if you compare all the three basic parameters for CMOS, TTL, and ECL, the basic gates are NAND, NOR. TTL we are having NAND, NOR again. We are having ECL, we are having OR and NOR like this. So fan out is greater than 50 for CMOS, is less is around 10, it's 25. The power per gate is in milliwatt will be one at the rate of 1 megahertz. So it's working on 1 megahertz, and the power is around 1 milliwatt. So this is 1 milliwatt, the 22 megahertz, and this is 4 milliwatt, then 55 megahertz. Noise ability in CMOS is very excellent, and TTL is very good, but ECL is having good, right? So it is very close to noise. Then we are having a propagation delay time around say 1 to 200 nanoseconds. ETL is having 1.5 to 33 nanoseconds. Then ECL is having 1 to 4 nanoseconds. So we are having this comparison, and we are able to see that this CMOS is having a better parameters or better configuration comparatively to TTL and ECL. Okay, so we use this CMOS gates instead of ECL and TTL in very large scale integrated circuits. Now let us go through what are the basic working diagram of a CMOS inverter. If I see a CMOS inverter, simply, when I say we are using a complementary MOSFET, complementary means we are going to employ both. So we are having this as P channel, this as N channel. So we are using both of them, right? So when we apply this, this is a simple inverter circuit of a CMOS. So what it implies that it is connected to say the drain of the drain is connected to the supply, and the output is taken from the source, and the gate is connected to the terminal A, which is supposed to be the input of the gate. So, right. Similarly, here also, this is the symbol of, if you remember, this is the symbol of, say, the enhancement MOSFET. It is not the depletion type of a MOSFET, it is enhancement MOSFET, right? So we are having this as, say, the P channel, which implies that the current is flowing from, say, here to here, right? So this is the circuit diagram, simplest circuit diagram that we are having, and you are able to see that we are employing both P type as well as N type, N channel uh, MOSFETs, right? So these MOSFETs are working over here. Now, how it works? So whenever we are applying the gate voltage, that is, say, if it is positive, right? So if it is given a positive volt, then this gate will be positive, and the since it is positive, so there will be no current flowing through that, so it will work. And as it is positive, this will conduct. So the below MOSFET is going to conduct, whereas this upper MOSFET will not conduct. So it will look like this. So it is disconnected with the plus positive supply, and it is connected to the ground. So automatically, as soon as we apply one over here, then the output over here becomes low, right? So this is the truth table of inverter. As you remember, this truth table of an inverter is whenever you apply high, we'll have low, or say we'll have the opposite of the input which is applied. When we apply zero over here, if you apply zero to this input, then what happens? Here it becomes zero, and due to which the negative polarity appears over here and positive holes are present, and indirectly the current starts flowing through this. So it is being short now. So as it is shown over here, it is open. Now it becomes short. As soon as it becomes short, the positive supply is connected to X, that is out. Here, vice versa, when it is connected to zero, this will not conduct and it will behave as an open switch. So at this point, it will be open switch. So just the power supply that is positive is connected to this output. And as soon as we apply zero over here, the output will be high, right? So that is the basic function of, say, the inverter. When we apply high, it gives you low. When you apply low, it will give you high, right? So this is how a CMOS inverter works. Similarly, the CMOS NAND and CMOS NOR gates, we are having it in our syllabus. So CMOS NAND gate, again, it will work in the same fashion. Now, remember, the circuits are very simple. So if you understand that, we are using it again in both the form. So this is that P type, and we are having two N type over there. So we are having two on the upper portion. We are calling the gates. We are giving the gates as A and B. These are the two inputs. Then we are having these two gates again. So they are connected in series. These are connected in parallel. Okay, so these are connected in parallel, and these are connected in series. I guess I will be able to recall the truth table of say NAND gate. So if you recall that and if you remember that, you will be stating that. So whenever we are having both the inputs are high, then only the output is low. Otherwise, it is high. Okay, so that is the NAND gate. Okay, so if both the inputs are high, or say if one of the inputs are low, or both the inputs are low, the output will be high. Okay, is it okay? I guess you have understood. The output is taken from this point X. This is the common terminal which comes out from the both the sources of these two MOSFETs, right? So we are taking it there, and the both the transistors are being grounded over here, where both the transistors are connected in series and they are being grounded. Now, how it works? If one of let us start from say if both are one, right? So if both are one, right? So both the transistors are one, which implies that these both the MOSFETs are not going to work, right? And they will be open. And this both the transistors which are connected in series are going to work, are going to conduct, and this zero potential will be connected to the X point. So as soon as both are one, the output will become zero. Okay. As soon as both are one, the output will become zero. And otherwise, if one of them is zero or if one of them is one, then what happens? If both are zero, then what happens? These both the transistors are going to work, right? So as soon as these transistors are on, the VDD will come across this point, that is X. And if both these between these two transistors, one of the transistors will conduct and the other transistor will be switched off, which implies that the zero potential will not come at this point at X. So this plus VDD is connected over here, and automatically the output appears on here. So as soon as both are zero, the output will become high. Okay, so this is how CMOS NAND gate works, where it is there. Which gate, Rinky, which gate you need to repeat? Inverter or both? NAND gate. You can unmute and you can talk to me. Hello, Rinky, you
Yes,
can
sir.
unmute. हाँ बेटा,
Yes,
you
sir.
can unmute.
सर
कौन सा गेट
सर
रिपीट करना है?
रिपीट करिए ना सर, ये गेट को समझा
ये
नहीं।
वाला ही, CMOS NAND.
यस सर, यस
यही
सर,
वाला बोल रहे हो? हेलो,
यस सर,
ओके,
यस सर।
ठीक है, करता हूँ. So what the construction कैसे है इसका? Construction is like this. We are having two MOSFETs which are connected in parallel. ये जो ऊपर वाले दो MOSFET दिख रहे हैं, ये दोनों parallel में हैं. I won't go in Hindi because I guess you have to write it in English and you should understand it in English. Therefore, I am speaking in that language. Okay, so what we have done over here, we have connected these two transistors which are connected to the source, the drains of which are connected to the power supply, and they are connected in parallel. The combined source of both the transistors are being combined, and the output is taken as X. Similarly, these two transistors, these two MOSFETs are connected in series like this, and the gates are again connected common to the input terminals. So these A and B are the inputs, and this X is the output. Okay, now how it works? Whenever we apply both as one, we'll अच्छा हम लोग जैसे ट्रुथ टेबल पे पढ़ते वैसे जाएंगे. So first is initial level is 0 0, right? So when both are 0, which implies that these two transistors, these two MOSFETs are not going to work. Uh, uh, Sorry, these two transistors are going to work. Okay, so both these transistors will be on. As soon as these transistors are on, the voltage which is over here VDD will come across this point, that is X, right? So this will become high, and these two transistors, if both are 0 0, means both the transistors will not work, or they will be in the off condition. So this will be not connected to the ground. Okay, so that is how the output will remain at high potential. So the output of two gate, the NAND gate, then it is 0 0 will give you 1, okay, or high. When both the inputs are low, the output is high. Similarly, if one of the inputs are high, if one of the inputs are low, then what happens? Again, one of the transistor is going to work on this side, either A or either B, and one of the transistors on this side will not work. So there will be no connection between the ground and the output, and the VDD will come across this point either by this transistor or from this transistor. So the output voltage will become high. So if one of the inputs are zero, then also the output will be high, right? Now what happens when both the inputs are low, or sorry, when both the inputs are high? When both the inputs are high, which implies that these both transistors which are connected in parallel will be in the off condition. They are not going to work, and if they are not going to work, then what happens? This voltage will not come across this. Similarly, when both are high, these two transistors which are over there, which are here, are going to conduct, right? And since they are going to conduct like this, we are using complementary symmetry, no? So we are using this N type, and these are the P type, P channel MOSFET. These are N channel MOSFET. So as soon as we are having high over here, automatically this both series transistors are going to work. They are going to be on, and this ground will be connected to this point, that is X. So now this X will be at a lower potential, that is, it will show you 0. And this is what the truth table says, that when both the inputs of a NAND gate are high, then the output of the gate will be equal to 0 or low, right? So this was the working of CMOS NAND gate. Similarly, if you see the CMOS NOR gate, right? So the CMOS NOR gate is similar to that, just a little bit of difference. The parallel transistors are being pulled down, and the series transistors are being taken up, right? So if you are able to see over here, the P transistors are taken on the top side over here, and the N type of a transistor now which are connected to in parallel are being pulled down over here. Okay, so these are connected to 0. So this is a NOR gate. Again, the gates are being made common of both the transistors. So this gate is again made with this gate, and the gate of this is connected to this, and they are taken as common as A input and a B input. Output is again taken at this point, which is very common to this series and this parallel combination, right? So I guess this is the simplest circuit. So in CMOS, NAND and NOR, we are having just equal and opposite. So if you push the parallel gates on the upper side, then it is a NAND gate. When you take it to the lower side, to the ground side, then it is a NOR gate. Now how it works? Okay, again we'll start with 0 0. So when we give 0 0 to this terminal, what happens? When you give 0 0, then the these two transistors which are on the upper side will be on. So both the transistor are on, then this VDD will come across this point, and this X will become high. Okay, and since this both transistors which are in parallel will not work when we apply sorry when we apply 0 0, so they will remain in of the off condition, and they will not be connected to the ground, right? So this will become high. When both the inputs are 0 0, the output will become high, or when both the inputs are low, then the output will become high, right? So these two transistors will be in series, and they are going to conduct when we are going to apply 0 0. Now the second condition, when we go high, so when we take both the inputs or one of the inputs are high, so one of the transistor from the parallel combination will become on, and it will be connected to the ground. Similarly, one of the transistors in this two series conduction will be cut off. So one of the transistor will be off, so that this VDD will not come across this point, and only ground will be connected to this point. So automatically 0 will be there. Okay, so whenever we are having 1 0 0 1, or say in that case 1 1, the output will be 0. So this is the truth table of NOR gate. We are having 1 0 0 0, means for 0 0 it is showing you 1, for 0 1 it is showing 0, for 1 0 it is again showing you 0, and for 1 1 it is also showing you 0. So that is the truth table, and this is how it works. I guess you have understood. Just a simple change we have done. The P channel MOSFETs are being taken up on the upper side, and the N channel MOSFETs are taken in parallel on the ground side. Okay, the gates are again been made common. Both the transistors are same as the circuit diagram of a NAND gate as I've shown you over here. Here we are having this P channel MOSFET on the top side and N channel MOSFET in series on the ground side. And here we have the same arrangement like that. So they are working with this, and this is how that uh, this works as an CMOS NOR. Okay, so I guess you have understood. And by for writing, you have to write these as the name of the transistors T1, T2, T3, and T4. And accordingly, you'll have to make a table of it, and you have to put which transistor is on in what condition, and accordingly how the output is going to come across the output, whether it is high or low. How when it will become high, when it will become low. So accordingly, we'll have to write the theory on it. I guess we are not having this time a theory exam, but still, so the physical gates are not ideal components. Logic gates are manufactured in range of logic families. The ability of a gate to ignore noise is its noise amenity. Both MOSFETs and bipolar transistors are used in gates. All logic gates exhibit a propagation delay when responding to changes in their inputs. Then the most widely used logic families are CMOS and TTL. Then CMOS is available in the range of forms offering high speed or very low power consumption. And TTL logic family is also produced in many versions, each optimized for a particular characteristic. I guess these are some of the important points which are to be taken care of or being noted as far as MOSFETs and logic families are concerned. Okay, so by this, I guess we have completed the this unit. And thank you very much for patience listening. I guess you have understood all everything over here. And if you have not understood, you can ask me on that. So if you have any queries, we can solve those. Or I can expect that we can just repeat that again for you. So today we have studied with this the CMOS, NAND, and NOR gate, right? And some of the characteristics of logic families. The main characteristics of logic families are speed, fan in, fan out, and noise amenity as well as power dissipation. These are the definitions of that. Speed is nothing but a logic circuit is determined by the time between the application of input and the change in the output of the circuit. As soon as we give the input, how much time it requires to change it out, change its output. That is called as the speed. Then the fan in, how many number of inputs the logic gate can handle. That is called as fan in. Fan out, how many number of circuits that a logic family or a gate can drive on the output side. That is called as the fan out. Then the noise amenity, maximum noise that the circuit can withstand without affecting the output, right? And lastly is the power. When a circuit switches from the on state or the one state to the another state, how much power it dissipates. That is the power. So these are some of the characteristics which are essential for any of the basic logic gate families to work on. Types, we are having TTL, we are having CMOS, then we are having ECL, that is emitter coupled CMOS complementary metal oxide. So we are using both P channel as well as N channel, right? Then we have TTL, that is transistor logic, in which we are using the bipolar transistor. These are the, say, some of the characteristics of, say, that logic families. CMOS logic families, they consume very little power, has excellent noise immunity, and is used with a wide range of voltages. TTL can drive more current, uses more power than CMOS. ECL is fast with poor noise immunity and high power consumption. Then, uh, yeah, CMOS, most widely used family for large scale devices, combines high speed with low power, usually operates from say 5 volt to 15 volt. Excellent noise immunity, about 30% of supply voltage, can be connected to a large number of gates, about 50. Many forms, some with propagation delay of around 1 nanosecond, and the power consumption is almost low, that is around 1 milliwatt. Then for the TTL, so based on bipolar transistor, one of the most widely used families for small and medium scale devices, but it is not used in very large scale integrated circuits. Typically operated from 5 volts, noise immunity is from 1 to 1.6, and the speed Many forms, some optimized for speed, power, and etc. So high-speed versions comparable to CMOS is approximately equal to 1.5 nanoseconds. Then it is having a low power dissipation down to 1 milliwatt per gate. Okay. Emitter coupled logic. So it is using based on bipolar transistor, but removes problems of storage time. Means the delay time is being reduced. Very fast operation. The propagation delay is approximately equal to 1 nanosecond or less. Then it is having a high power consumption. That is the main drawback of this emitter coupled logic. That is going to use around 60 milliwatt per gate as compared to 1 milliwatt per gate in TTL as well as CMOS. Then it is having a low noise amenity of about zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.25 volt, used in some high speed specialist applications, but now these all being are being replaced by a high speed CMOS circuits. Okay, so this is the comparison of this logic families that we have, and we are able to see that CMOS are far better than TTL and ECL. Right, so we'll study that CMOS inverter. We are here using P MOSFET, and we are using N MOSFET. So we are using complementary of both P channel as well as the N channel, and we have tried to design this CMOS inverter, right? So we have connected this P channel over here to the positive, N channel to the ground, and the common gate terminal is taken as the input. Whenever we apply zero, this gate will be this MOSFET will work, and this positive supply is being come across this X, and this will be in the off state, right? When we apply say high, then this gate will be off and this gate will be on. So the ground will connect it over here, and the output will become zero, right? So this is the basic condition when we apply one over here. So this switch is off and this switch is on, so that the ground is connected to this output X, and the output will appear X low at this stage. Then we are having CMOS NAND gate. I guess you have understood this. CMOS NAND gate, it is having two parallel MOSFETs on the upper side, that is towards the power supply, and two series MOSFETs, which are N channel, in the towards the ground, which are connected in series. So one of the transistor works over here. So whenever we apply one, then these two series transistors will work, and they will be connected. The output will be connected to ground automatically, and these two will be off. So VDD will not be connected over here, and the output will become zero. Similarly, when we apply 0, 0, then these one of the transistors, or say both the transistors will work, and VDD will come across this. And according to this, both the transistor will be in the offset, or either one of the transistor will be offset, so that the output will become high. Okay. Similarly, we are having CMOS NOR gate. CMOS NOR gate is the reciprocal of that. We are using the N channel in the ground side. We are having over here, which are connected in parallel, whereas the P channel are connected in series. So whenever we apply 0, 0, both the transistors will, these two series transistors will work, and VDD will come across X point, so that the output will become high, whereas these two gates will become zero, and they are not working in this condition when we apply 0, 0. So the output will become high. Similarly, either one of the transistors, one of the inputs are low, then these transistors are going to be in the off state, and these transistors are going to be in the on state. So yeah, so this output will become low, right? So this one of the transistor will be on the on state, and one of the transistor in the series combination will be in the off state. So indirectly it is going to be connected to the ground, and the output will be low. Key points of all this: so we are having physical gates are not ideal components. Logic gates are manufactured in range of logic families. The ability of a gate to ignore noise is its noise immunity. Both MOSFETs and bipolar transistors are used in gates. All logic gates exhibit a propagation delay when responding to change in their inputs, and the most widely used logic families are CMOS and TTL. CMOS are always or range forms in high speed as well as low power consumption, whereas TTL logic families are in optimized form. So this is for today. Thank you very much for joining and listening to this class patiently. If you have any queries, you can put down on my YouTube channel. So thank you again for patience listening. Go through my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. Good day. Have a nice time. See you in the next class. So have a nice time. See you in the next class. Good day. Bye. See you. Thank you.